Okay. Hi, Lily.
How are you?
Thanks very much for joining me today. I'll just very quickly introduce myself. My name's Ella Halfcree and I manage admissions for the MSc Financial Risk Management Programme. Today I'm joined by Lily, who is currently on the programme. She's about a month in and she's very kindly agreed to give up some time today to talk to us a little bit about her experience. So Lily, why don't I let you kind of kick off and I guess introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your background, what you would have studied for your undergrad, where you studied. That would be great.
Yeah, perfect. So, hi everyone. My name is Lily and I'm from Dublin. I studied economics for 3 years for my undergrad in UCD before switching over and coming to Trinity to study FRM. So, yeah, like Ella was saying, I think we're on to like week 5 or 6 now. And I've really enjoyed all of the modules and the whole experience in the program.
That's brilliant. I won't put you on the spot and ask you what's better, Trinity or UCD.
Yes.
Great schools. And you get a great experience at both of them. So that's interesting then that you've come from like an economics background. Obviously, the course itself is highly quantitative. So if you found that your economics background has lent quite well to kind of the types of studies that you're doing now.
Yeah, definitely. Like, so I did 3 years of pure economics and there was a lot of numbers in it. But it wasn't overwhelming with numbers. But I have found that transitioning over into this master's, that everything I've done, I kind of have a lot of the groundings and kind of the skills that I've like learned in economics have been so useful in most of the modules that I've done, which has been really helpful. But
that's brilliant.
To say as well, like I wouldn't be a maths genius.
Okay.
And that was one thing that I was a bit nervous about coming into the course was would I be able to manage because there is a huge quantitative element to it. But like I find it really manageable. So I definitely think if that's one thing you're apprehensive about, it's not all numbers.
Okay, that's actually really useful. That's probably something that I would have asked later on when I'm going to kind of ask you about any advice that you might give or something that you might sometimes we hear from people that are a bit worried about the kind of numbers element. Sometimes you the other side from people that absolutely that numbers are like their passion and they don't, if anything, they're worried that the program will reduce the kind of amount of numbers. I was speaking to one of your classmates yesterday and she said that everybody learns from like different levels. So everybody comes in with different experiences and different you're all kind of brought up to where you need to be in order to kind of take on.
That's also like a really interesting thing as well. I think everyone has come in from really different backgrounds. And obviously people are coming from not only like different backgrounds in education, but also some people have work experience. And then people are also coming from so many different places all over the world that kind of everyone comes in, but also shares with, there's a kind of a good, everyone kind of brings together nearly their knowledge. And it's interesting to hear different perspectives in class because obviously someone might have a much stronger background in maths than I would have. So it's interesting then when the lecturer is going through a problem to kind of see the opinion that they would have on it or how they would go about doing it. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, that's really interesting. So would you say there's an element of kind of collaboration and a lot of discussion in the class? Is there a lot of kind of like class discussion about problems? And
definitely. I think there's in most of my classes, there's a big emphasis on discussion and so many of my modules, it's not just about the lecturer standing up and reading out slides. It's about learning so that you can take what you've learned and bring it on into the workplace, which I think is really good because that is kind of what you need, the practical side of it. And then, so there will be a lot of discussion, being able to discuss. And then obviously, because you have people who have actually worked and have work experience, they also have interesting insights. Say for someone like me who has just come straight out of their undergraduate, it's interesting to hear from them who've been in the workplace and just see how related some of the topics can be is really interesting.
Brilliant. And in terms, so that you're talking about your classmates there, and what about the actual teaching staff? Because obviously something that I think is a real big selling point of the program is that it's not just full-time kind of academic staff that are based here at Trinity, but there's a lot of industry professionals that come in and teach as like adjuncts. So have you had anybody like that teaching you so far? I know you're only about 5 weeks in, but
Yeah, I've been so lucky so far with all my teachers. So for my risk modules, both the lecturers, Joe and Catherine, they both have like day jobs, and then they come in and deliver lectures to us kind of on the side. But it just, you can tell that they're so passionate about what they're teaching. And also it's really interesting because, say for example, they'll be like, when I was in work, they used this. So it really brings what you're doing like alive. And
yeah.
also I think a lot of the assessment then that they give us is actually really practical. Like you would be using this in the workplace rather than just write an essay on this title. It's like assignments where you're practically applying the work, which I think is really useful.
That's great. That's Catherine Keane, is it, who's been teaching on the program for quite a number of years. I think
Yeah.
she's got work experience in the Bank of Ireland. Is that right?
Yeah,
She's
she worked in Bank of Ireland, and I think now she's on the board kind of overheading risk in I think in the Coombe Hospital. So yeah, it's just so cool to be able to see as well, like what one day you potentially could end up doing after doing this program as well.
Well, that leads me nicely into the next question, which is, have you thought that far ahead? Do you think that you want to go into like a specific area, and would you stay in Ireland, or do you think you go further afield for work?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm kind of in the thick of applying for grad programs and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm definitely really interested in the area of risk management. Because I did an internship actually during my undergraduate degree in a credit rating agency on the risk
Okay.
team. So that kind of is what got me interested in the whole area of risk, and just like how important it is and how it applies across so many, not like in a way, not just financial institutions, like across every organization faces risk. So yeah, I'd definitely be interested in kind of the area of risk management. And then also I am kind of looking into the area of consulting too,
Oh,
because
very good.
again, I think a lot of the skills that you learn on this course can kind of be directly transferred and applied across so many different areas, which is
Very
useful
good.
in consulting where you're kind of working across a number of different backgrounds.
Yeah, and just expanding on what you were saying there about specifically, I guess, being interested in the area of financial risk. I'm always curious because I also manage admissions for the finance program, and it's obviously such a huge program. It's very popular, and it's the main one, I guess, people know about of the two finance programs. And I was just wondering what really specifically drew you to the financial risk management program.
Yeah, so originally when I was finishing up my undergrad in economics, it was a master's in finance that I was looking to do. Because again, finance kind of goes hand in hand with economics. But when I was looking on the business school website and actually looking through the different courses, I came across the FRM course. And when I actually looked through the modules and the offerings of the course, it kind of like it kind of had modules that I was more interested in, and also provided that nice mix between, like, we would still share modules. Probably half of my modules are still with MSc Finance, and then half the modules are just with FRM. So it's nice because you kind of get to do a bit of both, which is what I was looking for. And then it's also nice because you do share modules with MSc Finance. You get to know people in that course too, and you get to hear about what they're doing too. So yeah, and obviously then they get to hear from us what we're doing. But it's just nice to be able to mix both.
Yeah, you definitely hear about those two cohorts. Like the finance cohort is very big, but because of the
Yeah,
overlap of the electives, you do find that it's almost like one big cohort, and it's all about
yeah,
expanding your kind of network. And I suppose like maybe the last question, in terms of if somebody's thinking about applying for the MSc and FRM, they're still not sure, they're on the fence. What do you think you would say to them to kind of, I guess, encourage them, or if you felt like it could be a good opportunity for them?
yeah. I'd say definitely just go for it and apply. I think firstly, Trinity is such an amazing college. Like obviously the campus, it's right in the centre of Dublin, and as well, it's known all over the world, which is great then when you're applying for jobs. It's such a well-known college. And then also, I think just the people you meet as well. Like you said, you get to expand your network so much. And just going back to what I said about the numbers element of it, like, don't be worried if you're like not. I think you just need to be comfortable with numbers. You don't need to be amazing at them because, like we've said, the teaching staff in Trinity are so good and are so helpful that they never say no to answering one of your questions, and they're always there to help you. So yeah, no, I definitely say go for it. I've really enjoyed it so far.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time today, Lily. We'll leave it there.
Thanks so much.
And, yeah, enjoy the rest of your studies and good luck for your
Thanks.
dissertation.
Thank you.
You'll be on that in no time, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
thank you for your time.